This morning, Donald Trump suffered a furious meltdown when his ceasefire was ignored, dropping the F-bomb. Trump is big mad. Let me lay it out for you. This is after Trump was seemingly up all night, putting out messages on Truth Central about the ceasefire, saying, please abide by the ceasefire. At 6:50 this morning, Donald Trump put out a Truth message where he said, Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do, it is a major violation. Bring your pilots home now. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. And then Trump on camera, furious, melting down. This was just after putting out that Truth and dropping a nasty F-bomb.
Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
An absolutely blisteringly furious Donald Trump, shocked that not everybody does whatever he tells them to do.
All right, so this is David Pakman. If you're not familiar, you know, if you travel in like conservative libertarian circles, and you won't know who he is. Most people don't know who he is, but he's kind of a big deal on the left. A lot of people listen to him and stuff like that. So, you know, he's giving his take, he's giving his spin on that. That's just his job. Is what he has to do, right? Obviously, when you try to look at this objectively, it's not that he's shocked that they're not doing what he wants them to do, right? I think that in this particular scenario, if you kind of break it down and see that, you know, Trump was going along with what Israel was trying to get accomplished, and ultimately he helped facilitate, you know, what they wanted up to a point. And he probably really believed that, okay, we blew up the facilities, we did what you wanted, we took care of this, so now you guys should be relatively at peace, right? Because if what you're telling me is true, if what Israel is telling Trump is true, and Bibi was telling Trump is true, is that we just want to make sure that they don't have nukes to decimate Israel. Okay, he took care of that. And now he's seeing that still not enough, right? He's seeing that even after he did exactly what he thought they wanted, he's still in a situation where they're still blowing the shit out of each other. And he's pissed because he really thought that, okay, if I give you guys this amount, then it should appease you. And then he went nuclear, right? I think he's the first president in history to ever say it out loud, to ever say the F word out loud, not in a hot mic or whatever. He deliberately put that out there to show his anger and frustration with what's going on. And maybe ultimately, this is a good thing. This is what needed to happen. He needed to see that no matter what you do with these countries, they've been fighting for thousands of years. They're going to continue to fight for thousands of years. I think he was very hopeful that if he appeased Israel in this moment, that, you know, maybe things would settle down for a bit, and then, you know, they could stop saying that they're a week away from getting a nuke. But that's not what happened. So let's see what the rest of this guy has to say about whatever.
Who could have known that foreign policy could be so difficult? Donald Trump also expressing further displeasure with what's taking place. He's watching those 34 Nobel Peace Prizes just slip through his hands.
You urge both sides not to violate the ceasefire.
I don't think he gives a shit about the Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, Obama got it within like 6 months of coming into office, and then proceeded to bomb the shit out of countries for forever. So Nobel Peace Prize doesn't mean shit anymore. Everyone knows that, right? It's politics, just like everything else. It's just political. Like, no one can point to me the reason why Obama got a Nobel Peace Prize. It was literally months in office. He had literally done nothing, and then he proceeded to to be like, to drop more drone strikes than any other president in U.S. history. So.
But reports coming from the region suggest that the sides accuse each other for violating the ceasefire. So I think they both violated it. I don't think I'm not sure they did it intentionally. They couldn't rein people back. I don't like the fact that Israel went out this morning at all, and I'm going to see if I can stop it. So as soon as I get away from you, I'm going to see if I can stop it, okay?
And how does Trump try to stop it? Moments after this video was filmed, Donald Trump trying to stop it by putting out messages on his social media platform.
Yeah, because I'm sure that's the only way. Like, this is why these guys are so frustrating. I'm sure that the only way Donald Trump communicates with foreign leaders is on social media. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he could pick up the phone and call whoever the hell he wants, and they're going to answer. Pretty sure that's a thing. He's putting out stuff on social media to get his narrative out there, to push forward what he's trying to get accomplished, and also to try to back other people into a situation where essentially saying, here, he's not going to say what the private conversation is, but he's going to put out a narrative where it allows him to negotiate, probably a better deal. It puts him in a better situation. He's not going to have a conversation with, and all of a sudden just, put that out there in the ether. He's going to put a snippet of what he wants people to hear and know.
Truth Social.
Truth Central.
Yeah, where he said, quote, Israel is not going to attack Iran. All planes will turn around and head home while doing a friendly plane wave to Iran. Nobody will be hurt. The ceasefire is in effect. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. And as you know, when you sign a message with your name and title on Truth Central, it is legally binding. That's a joke. What are the themes here? Number one, Trump's pretty impotent in this entire thing. Number two, Trump doesn't constitutionally and emotionally have what it takes to actually manage this situation. And number three, Trump is not particularly well respected globally. The problem now for the Trump...
And this is the guy who supported and cucked for Joe Biden for 4 years. So you take exactly what this guy said and you flip it around and correlate that to Joe Biden. Do you honestly believe that any of those things were greater during the Biden administration than they are now? Do you honestly believe that other countries had fear or respect for Joe Biden or the other person that he was campaigning for? This guy, Kamala Harris. Do you think that the Netanyahu or the Shah of Iran or Bibi Netanyahu pick any global leader, dictator, or whatever. You think he would have sat across? They would have sat across from Kamala Harris and been quivering in their boots? Come on, guy. It's kind of sad because you gotta wonder if guys like this, if they're disingenuous, or if they truly believe what they're saying. There's no way you could be like above 70 IQ and believe the shit that he's peddling. I don't for a second. I don't besmirch, older people that are like on, that all they consume is like CNN, MSNBC, things of that nature. If all you're consuming is, mainstream media, then you're gonna follow along this line, right? But that's kind of not their fault, right? They didn't grow up with the internet and things of that nature, and then you have to understand that the youth that are propagandized, they're propagandized from the other angle, right? They're the TikTok personnel and things of that nature. This guy, this is his wheelhouse, right? He's supposed to be well versed in these issues. It's obviously he's like a paid shill, right? It's so obvious, right? Just like him and Sisson and all those other guys. If you're not familiar with them, the entire like soy boy liberal guy that try to promulgate leftist ideology. This is what they look like. This is how they all are. They're all the same thing. It's just a copy and paste over and over again.
Trump administration.
By the way, if you guys can hit the like, hit the subscribe, it really does me a lot of good. Small channel, trying to grow. Thanks a lot.
Is they have some tangible and specific issues to deal with, including what happens with oil, what happens with gas. We talked about it on the bonus show, but now Caroline Levitt is weighing in. All right, if you're a busy professional or entrepreneur constantly jumping between meetings or a manager, this is for you. Just wear a portable. Who for Pakman.com. All
right, so that's pretty much it. That's all he had to say. So it's a very disingenuous look. My takeaway is I just look at it like, as of now, Trump has essentially, everyone should be relatively happy, right? The MAGA base, the people on MAGA that were afraid he was going to get into another foreign war, now they realize, okay, he's pulled back. It was a strike. It was a targeted strike. He did what he had to do. It's over. Pulled back, just like when he took out Soleimani or stuff like that. It was a one-time thing that was done. Iran was able to retaliate, by lobbing a couple of missiles our way. They could claim victory. Look, we did it. We took out. We attacked the people over there, and then everything worked out okay. And then for the other side of the argument, for the pro-war side, they got a couple of missiles that they could launch. Ideally, a lot of the Mark Levins and people like of that ilk, they wanted a full-scale invasion. It was pretty obvious. They wanted to go in, boots on the ground, and regime change, the whole nine. Very happy to see that he's not going along with that. So he kind of threaded the needle here. It seems he threaded the needle here. He did what he felt was necessary to try to appease Israel. Obviously, it didn't work. They're still blowing the shit out of each other. So at this point, he's basically saying, go F yourselves. You guys are on your own, which I think would greatly appease MAGA. The rhinos and the neocons, they're obviously not going to be happy with it, but they didn't like him anyway. So it's not really that big of an issue. His base is behind him on his decision right here. Right? They were a little bit leery, including myself, that we were going to get into another quagmire of a war. I thought the same thing. Luckily, that's not how it turned out. So it's all good. We're relatively happy. They want to keep bombing the shit out of each other. Knock yourselves out. But the rest of the bulk of MAGA is America first. Let's deal with our country. Let's deal with our people. Let the Middle East do what the Middle East does, which they've done for thousands of years, since before the founding of our country, which is blow the shit out of each other. It sucks that he couldn't, help them out and come to a conclusion, but it is what it is. Let's come back home. Let's work on our domestic affairs. Let's take care of our people. Let's do what we have to do to make our country fantastic again. And that's all we got to do. Guys, thanks a lot for coming out. Hit like, share, subscribe, throw a comment. We'll talk back and forth. I answer all the comments, and it will be a good time. Thanks a lot for coming out, guys. See you in the next video. Thanks.